Good morning. Welcome. This is the Journey of Mela Lifestyle, morning moments, madness, and meditations. This is a special week, right? It's Thanksgiving week, and I want to thank you for joining me. I know some of you may be traveling en route. Well, actually, I don't know if you guys are traveling. That's your business. Like whether you're traveling or not is your business. I don't need to know that. But just wanted to come on really quick and do a quick meditation for the week. And if you're just joining us, my name is Camila Tibbetts. I'm a serial entrepreneur. This journey originally started as me sharing like the trials, the mountains, the valley of launching Mela Lifestyle, which is a lifestyle site that curates products in the categories of beauty, wellness, home, and style. You know, we have everything from candles, sweatshirts, body care, just so many things. So just wanted to thank you for joining us. And so this is how it started. I really wanted to take you behind the veil and really share with you like what it's like as a founder to launch something, right? Because a lot of times we see the founder when they're on the Inc. magazine or when they're on the mountain. And so this is me showing you like these are the moments, like this is a madness, like this what, you know, a lot of you followed me up until I launched, right? And the launch went great and there's orders coming in and there's all different sorts of things happening. And I can tell you that yesterday was a big day. Like I realized it's funny how like your community will help you in realizing, oh, we can do that too. And I had someone from our community reach out and we actually curated two gifts for this person and was able to send it to them. And so I was like, wow, I didn't know that we can do that. So that was really great to be a part of like choosing of gifts and for special people or that family members in your life. And you know, something happened. Like I really, like the thing about a founder, an executive, a CEO, is that they still have things going on in their life while they're building, right? Like while there's movement, while there's strategy, things are still going on. And it's the holidays and you know, it's not always rainbows and unicorns with me. And I was a bit snippy with my son and he said something that I completely forgot. But before I get to that, I wanted to share with you like, you know, I made that mac and cheese recipe and I've also been eating that mac and cheese recipe. So I've been eating so much and like I'm usually pretty clean when I eat. So I've been eating so much, I've been tired. Like I really didn't know like why I've been so tired, my body, like just movement, I haven't been working out. And then in this intense conversation, my son goes, yeah, but you really don't have to take it out on us. It's the holidays and everyone's missing Grammy. Now, Grammy is my mom, and my mom passed away 3 weeks ago. And I mean, 3 years ago. And in that moment, I realized, oh, the body remembers, right? Like, even though my mind, you know, it's that mind body connection, like, even though my mind wasn't aware of like, hey, it's the holidays, I'm not gonna have my mom here on earth with me, my body remembered, right? And I remember, and that's our first meditation this morning, right? It's like the body remembers. So a lot of times, you know, when something's happening or you have shortness of breath or things going on and you're trying to just push through and you're like, I'm trying to push through, Camila, but my body's responding differently. Like I have the intention, I have the will, I'm going for it, but there's something going on where I just can't like get it together. And that's what happened to me. So what does that look like? I know a lot of you, I've seen it in your posts, in your stories, like a lot of you are dealing with just the grief of, you know, this season and what that means and whether or not you're grieving someone that's not physically here on earth or whether you're grieving not being able to physically be with family the way you usually are. And you know what? That's okay. You know, like this is a moment where it's all new, it's uncharted, right? And that's okay. And I think one thing we really have to learn as self-starters, as entrepreneurs, as leaders in whatever area and sphere of influence we've been called to, is that we have to be able to be honest. And what do I mean by that? I mean that when we're honest with our higher power, like whatever that is for you in terms of your spiritual practice, when we're honest with ourselves and we're honest with others, then we can sit in the discomfort and be okay in that, right? Because discomfort is not something where I can just take off like these earrings, right? Like when we're uncomfortable about something or when we're grieving something, we have to learn how to sit in it, like even in the midst of placing orders, even in the midst of shipping boxes, even in the midst of planning for Cyber Monday. Like these things are still happening in the life of a founder. And so for me, I choose to be like, oh, this is where this is coming from, and kind of acknowledge it and learning how to sit in it in a way. I feel like once we acknowledge something, then it's easier to like process and do what we need to do. And I remember when my mom was battling cancer, I was seeing a grief counselor, and I was an adult child. Like I was like, I don't know why this is so hard for me. And she said something to me that I wanted to share with you. She said, "You're grieving what was and what will never be." And what does that look like? I think in this season, in this upcoming holiday week, we all are grieving some things, right? Like, oh, I remember what Thanksgiving was like. I remember we all used to get together. But you know what, here's the difference, is that we still this is a moment, and we have moments, and we're able to sit in moments and process, but then we go forward, right? And that's the promise, right? So if you think about, your grandma's recipe that you used to make, or your uncle's this, or all the things that probably in the past you used to roll your eyes like, oh God, I gotta go over there, these are the things we still can look forward to in a different way. So our first meditation this morning is the body remembers, and to really being able to sit in that in the process of building, right? Because if you think about it, like if we're like, let's say we're building a house, right? And I'm like, okay, like we have all the tools, we're all together. I'm like, okay, like you get the hammer, like you hammer this, right? Because we're laying the foundation. And if you're like, Camila, my arm is sore, and I'm like, I don't care if your arm's sore, we're trying to build this house, we're going to try to build this house. But it's in the moments when you're honest with me, like, I have some pain in this area right now, and I can't work, with the same level of excellence that I usually do in this moment because my arm's sore. Then that gives me the information of how to respond to you, right? And so I really wanted to share that with you, because we aren't always firing on all cylinders, and that's okay if we're not, right? And it's okay in this holiday season if there is a little bit of grief, or if there is a little bit of your body kind of remembering and responding to like grief, trauma, loss, whatever that looks like for you. So our first meditation this morning is the body remembers, and I would encourage you to just be learning how to sit with uncomfortable feelings, right? Because, we can't just like go and hang out with our friend, or go into this restaurant, or go to this happy hour, whatever that is for you. Like we have to learn how to sit with some things. And I think that when we learn how to sit in uncomfortable moments, it strengthens us in a way that we're not even aware of. Like everyone always talks about our physical muscles, but I would argue and suggest that we also have like spiritual muscles, and those spiritual muscles that we are building like gives us the tenacity and the grit to go forward in the uncomfortable moments. Because if I can sit with myself in the uncomfortable moments and process those things, then I know what I need, and I can go back out, and whatever else comes at me in the world, I've learned how to sit with it with myself. So that's our first meditation, the body remembers. The second meditation is, I wanted to talk about the serving. And what do I mean by that? I was thinking about like how everyone's gonna sit down. I'm very visual, so I was thinking about how everyone's gonna sit down at Thanksgiving, like what dinner's gonna look like, if someone's gonna, just have a my grandma used to call it a TV tray. Do they even make TV trays? Do they make TV trays? I'm sure they make TV trays, right? Or you're gonna sit at your desk, or you're gonna sit at your coffee table, wherever you're gonna sit, and then you're going to serve yourself, right? Or you're going to serve others. And I wanted to encourage you that in this season that you are getting a serving of something far greater. And I know it may not feel like it right now, but I would argue that there's the preparation before the serving, right? And so like we prepare the food, we mix the food. What did we talk about yesterday? We fold things into it. And I would argue that this season that we're in right now, it may feel stagnant, it may feel like a trial, it may feel a bit, I call it a bit prickly. Like sometimes sometimes I feel a little prickly, like I'm just like, everything's like, ow, like I'm a little prickly, and all those things are okay. But in the process and in the preparation, there is a mighty serving that's going to happen. So this week, when you sit down at your Thanksgiving table, whether it's people that you've always been with, whether it's a new community, know that the body still remembers, and you can come to the table completely whole, and that you are being prepared for a mighty serving. And sometimes that sustenance comes from physical food that we eat, and sometimes it comes from the things that we hear, and the community that we're building. So I want to thank you for joining me this morning on the Journey of Mela Lifestyle, because we are building a community where people can be fully known in the world and in their home. And what a great opportunity that we get to have right now, that we get to transform our home in so many different ways, and that our body can come to the table, and our hearts and our minds, and that we can be prepared for a mighty serving of what's to come. So thank you for joining me this morning, and ciao for now. Bye.